with the El Dorado County Mineral and Gem Society, and we meet every month. It's a club of over 200 members now, and we're having a rock show today, and one of the rocks we have out in front of the fairgrounds is this jade rock.
Well, it's a unique piece of jade. It's over 12,000 pounds, and it was transported here by the Society in 1966, and it is almost solid jade. There's been a few pieces polished to show you what it looks like inside, and it's a permanent exhibit right out in front of the main building of the county fairgrounds.
Charge him double for this one.
All right.
Nice heart.
Yep.
Okay, we saved that nice crystal over there for you.
Nice. All right.
Even attached, really. It's two for the price of one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, it came out nice.
Yeah. But you see, this was one, and that one had attached itself to it.
Mixed minerals here in these buckets. They're all collected on field trips from the club. They come from extra rocks that people are donated. A lot of this is local. The obsidian is from Davis Creek, California, and this is some interesting stuff that comes from the Markleeville area from an old silver mine. Something that's always fun is the old snakeskin agate that has a snakeskin pattern on the top. And this comes from out in Nevada. And these are field trips that we go on and collect. A lot of the petrified wood is from the Warner Range, or some of it's from Arizona, some of it's from Utah. We do a lot of collecting in Utah. This is something called Nevada lapis. It's a pink and green mineral that is out near the Yerington area. So we collect everywhere. There's jasper from Black Butte. We try to give you in the buckets a good variety of cutting material as well as yard rock if you want. So there's a great big chunk of agate here that's from the Lovelock, Nevada area. This is what they call, it's not petrified wood, it's what they call forest floor. So when the ash flows over the debris on the forest floor, it hardens into agate, and you'll see little pieces of grasses, twigs, all kinds of things, and it's called forest floor agate, and it comes in a seam. The one out by Lovelock is 60 feet thick. That's millions of years of forest debris that was covered over. So it's really an interesting place to collect. But this is all field trip collecting pieces, which is a big copper mine. This is all copper ores in here. And of course we've got all kinds of members that are mad slabbers, and so we can't use it in a lifetime.
I'm talking about soapstone today, and this is a kids event at the El Dorado County Mineral and Gem Show, and we're carving things like my two necklaces here. These are necklaces I've done over the last few years. It's kind of like whittling or whatever you want. It's just a nice little project for the kids. It's a free event. The soapstone we have is from El Dorado County. We get the soapstone we went up to Swansboro area, Mosquito, that area, and we went on a field trip, collected a lot of rock up there, and we bring it back, and then what I do is I take a bandsaw, a regular bandsaw with a regular wood blade, and I cut all the pieces into shapes for the kids. I don't have any in front of me. Here's one. Like, see, we slab up these shapes like this, and then the kids, they work at the shapes with the sandpaper. I teach them about coarse sandpaper to medium sandpaper to the fine sandpaper. And then after they're done and they like the necklace, they put a little bit of wax on there, rub it around, and polish it. We give them a string, and voila, they have a necklace. Some kids like them as Flintstone starter kits, and the other ones have them as great art pieces.
Hi, these are crystals from Georgetown that we dug out, and they just keep coming basically, and the farther we dig, the better they get. Actually, this has got some green chlorite in it, and it's got ghost phantoms on each point. We've been making jewelry, and they just come one after another. And we're at the Rock and Gem show for the first time, showing off our stuff, and really happy to be here. And we've made some cool stuff. It just seems that I can't pick them up fast enough. We got this great spot on private property, and it's in Georgetown. These are all local, so I'm just trying to promote my stuff. You can see the ghost phantoms in there.
As you come in,
they're kind of hard to see, but
keep the bottom up. And I'd like to tell you some of the prizes we have. We have
double terminated.
Yeah, double terminated ones.
We have Paris Lake Tahoe.
We don't use the chemicals to clean them. This is just soap and water and a scrub brush. This is as far as we want to go. We kind of like the Georgetown dirt in there, the El Dorado County.
I'm Christine Busio with Dry Creek Minerals. Husband Jay Busio and I have been collecting in California and surrounding areas for about 45 years. This is one of the specimens that we found in El Dorado County. It's a copper mineral, and it is azurite and malachite, and it was mined in a area that was mined for copper during the 30s and 40s, I believe. This is one of many of the crystals that come from our area. In this form, it's a mineral, and as it gets harder in the ground, it can be cut and made into jewelry stones. This one is basically used as a mineral specimen that you would place on your shelf. It's not hard enough to be cut into jewelry yet. Minerals are very delicate in their nature. They have a tendency to want to fade in light as well as disappear if they're placed in water. They're formed off of the cave walls from the moisture in the caves. So you need to do a little bit of research when you're in caves or know that something has come from a cave to make sure that you don't wash it or put it out in the sunlight. Just look into the mineral books and see what it says for caring for them before you wash them and watch them disappear. These kind of mineral crystals come out of the Placerville area along the gold belt, and many collectors have collected these over the years and found these while even looking for gold. These can be made into beads or put into jewelry. However, most people just like to collect them as a specimen to put on their shelf.
With quartz. This is what capped the copper deposit there. It was an iron cap. So these are an oxide of iron, magnetite. Limonite is the mineral name for it.
Isn't this amazing? You like that, Huell Hauser, right? This is one of the exhibits that we have in our room called the Organ Room, and individual members of the society as well as members of other societies come and enter different pieces of information that are either theme related. So like this year we have agates as a theme for our show, so a lot of the individuals who regularly exhibit will actually come and put agates as a theme. Now this is one of the more popular exhibits we do every single year. This is an exhibit on field trips that we actually have attended as a society. So every rock or mineral that's in this case is items that we've collected throughout the years on field trips. California and especially Nevada are two very, very popular locations where we go to field trips. A lot of them are single daytime field trips. Others are 2-day, 3-day field trips. Sometimes we go to northern Nevada to do opals, so get precious opal up in northern Nevada. Sometimes we go into Utah, Arizona. So these are basically an example of the many different things that members of our society do when they're looking to attend field trips, which is one of the most popular things, not just with our society, but with most rock and gem clubs. People like to get out and actually look for rocks and gems and minerals and things of that nature. So this is a perfect example of what we do in our society. The other cases that we do in the hall are a lot of self-collected items, and others are again theme related for like agate, which is the theme of our show this year. Others are specialty, so like the fluorescent tent that we have over inside the tent is fluorescent minerals, which is extremely popular, especially with the kids. Others are fossils, minerals. We also have a kids activity, which is basically going through and trying to do a treasure hunt. We have 6 different minerals on different sheets, suggesting that they can identify which exhibit case by number that specific item is, and then they go back in and they get a free rock in return for their success in identifying the different locations.
I would like to tell you that you should join Junior Rock Hounds. It's super fun. We get to go on field trips up to quartz mines where we can do field trips with the adults too. Those are always fun, like Fallon, Nevada. Also, there's lots of crafts to do at the meetings, and you learn a lot of things that are useful. And it's also quite fun just to go collecting with your friends, and you get to meet a lot of new people. Yeah, like
the stainless steel.
These are
Huge Jello. Yeah.
To the breezeway and into the organ room. We have a lot of sugars. You can see we've got a lot of rock specimens, a lot of mineral specimens. The name of my shop is Got Rocks, and I'm a local dealer out of Shingle Springs. And we have a lot of different varieties, labradorite, an iridescent rock that is beautiful in the sunlight, or also in incandescent light, malachite from the Congo, a lot of fluorite from Mexico. This is really good with backlighting on it, and quartz from Arkansas, beautiful quartz crystals from Arkansas. And then we have carnelian. This is really a nice rock from Madagascar. That's pretty much it for varieties. We have stands also. Mineral stands for people who want to display their rocks.
This is a faceting demonstration, which turns a stone, a rough stone that looks like this, into something that looks like this. It takes a lot of time, so the stones can take up to 20 hours to make. So it takes a lot of time and patience and attention to detail, but it's not a difficult hobby to get into. This is an aquamarine right now. So it's a very pale blue aquamarine. And I've just finished doing the preform, which establishes the general shape, and now I'm starting to cut in the major facets.
started beading, and one day I saw these beautiful beads, and I said, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like that before. And they said they're handmade beads. I went, what do you mean? So I took a class, and that was 12 years ago, and I've never stopped. It became my business, my art. So it went from hobby to business, and now I just, I enjoy creating. I took my first class through the Dorado County Mineral and Gem Society, and then I used to go learn a lot more creativity at Arrow Springs and Diamond Springs. And this is it. I love it. We are making a lampwork glass bead. So actually I'm using Italian glass, and I'm using matte gas. I normally use propane and oxygen because it's much quicker. This is the slow boat, but it's portable, so I can give demonstrations here. If I turn this down lower, you'll be able to hear me talk. First we get a mandrel that's been dipped in ceramic, so the glass doesn't stick to the stainless steel. And we have to put the glass in and out of the flame, otherwise it would crack. Thermal shock. It gets hot too fast and it would just pop off. And you also have to bring your steel mandrel up to about 2,000 degrees or the glass won't stick to it. So once the glass, you have a little bit of liquid glass on the end, you go ahead and you apply it to the mandrel. See, it's liquid. Right now it's over 2,300 degrees. Because the glass is now liquid, all I have to do is keep rolling my mandrel, and gravity does the rest of the work. It'll make it into a round bead for me. So if I keep spinning it, it just becomes round on its own. If I want to add color, I can roll it in these little pieces of glass. This is called thread. It's already cut up for me. It's different colors, purple, blue, green. It just adds a little more detail to the glass that I'm making. I can melt it all the way down, or I can leave it sticking up. Then if I want to make it even more pretty, I add clear glass on top, and that gives it depth. So I'm introducing my glass rod again, and I'm keeping my product hot, or it would pop. This is Italian glass, so it's called soft glass. So it melts at a lower rate than other glasses, but it still has to be above
fair that we have here. My name is Edwina, and I'm a gem carver. I carve in opals and turquoise. I also carve in soapstone, which is your soapstone up here at the top. I don't really have a favorite. I have stones that sort of talk to me. I mean to say that I see the image in the stone, and then I bring it forward. This was a first place winner and a novice, and I wanted to show that the flowers were there, of course, in the stone, and it's a vase, but I wanted to show that it's sitting on a table on a cloth, and so very carefully I cut underneath so that it would show that's what it was. And I always wanted to do to hollow out the egg, and then I didn't know what I was going to do, because I do a lot of flowers because they're sort of safe. Nobody can say that they're out of proportion, but I do try to do it. And of course, the first one I ever did was my holly blue here, which is an agate, and it was very hard. So I started off really hard, unfortunately. But you know, each piece has its own little story. There's an Amazonite bullfrog here, and what are you going to make out of Amazonite except an Amazon tree frog? Thank you for visiting. I'm from the El Dorado Gem and Mineral Society. I'm glad you were able to come and see my beautiful carving and my work and how we do that.
You guys, I can give you $5. Kind of a blue key.
On this side, we have little keychain lights, pen lights, and these will work with partnership on low cost lights.
Yes.
Jim Hutchings with the Roseville Rock Rollers Gem and Mineral Society, up here helping the El Dorado Gem and Mineral Society with the California Federation of Mineralogical Societies show. I'm up here doing mineral identification. I take the rocks and minerals people find in the streams and the rivers, the gold miners dig up, and they bring it down here, and we put it through a bunch of tests using the physical properties method and a very large vocabulary and experience with looking at rocks and minerals for many, many years. And we come to a decision about what those rocks and minerals might be that they found, especially if they have a little value in them. The rocks and minerals of El Dorado County, it's a rich mineral history because of the geology here. We've got wonderful, interesting rocks. There's an old mine called the Liliama Mine. The Liliama Mine was full of interesting and unusual rare minerals, and they still collect them today and get them out as best they can. We also have the Pelican Mine, which was a chromium mine during World War II, and it has some very rare and interesting minerals. And along, of course, with the gold, we have something called Vesuvianite, a very rare green crystal that back in the early 1900s was thought to be emeralds, and Tiffany's actually bought them from Mr. Stifel to make emerald jewelry out of. During World War I, they were unable to get emeralds from South America, so they used El Dorado County, Stifel claims, Vesuvianite crystals as emeralds in jewelry that's found around the world. So we have a lot of mineralization here, a lot of wonderful things. One of the things that the miners bring in is a lot of silver gray metals. And they're always concerned that it might be platinum, which would be even better than a gold mine if they could find platinum. We don't see a lot of platinum in El Dorado County, but we do see a lot of these other minerals, such as calaverites, pyrites, tennerites, lead or galena, some with silver. We have a lot of arsenites, the arsenic mineral. We have a lot of different minerals here that people bring us that look a lot the same but have subtle differences that we can determine. A lot of the gold we have here are specimens from different types of gold mining operations. Some of this gold over here is actually from El Dorado County, from an old mine called the Crystal Ledge Mine that was mined back in the 40s and 50s. This is actually some of the ore with gold in it from that mine. We have the California State Gemstone, Benitoite. The only known location in the whole world is from San Benito County, California. It's right here from California. There is no more other than the remnants that they're digging up. We got a few diamonds here and the rock that the diamonds come from. We've got a few samples of fool's gold here. Various types of gold with real gold on it, but that's been painted or glued on. We've got some uranium minerals, uranium ores. We can check your specimens to see if in fact they're radioactive. We're always finding in old collections, we're finding old radioactive minerals that were dug up in Utah. And we can detect that with these devices.
My name is Rich Dvorak, and I'm a geologist here in El Dorado County, and I own Strike It Rich Adventures with my wife Cindy, and we're local vendors. We sell not only gold from around the world, but also gold from local gold. From the local rivers, from Placerville area, Georgetown, Middle Fork of the American. We also sell a variety of other minerals like pyrite. And I also volunteer over at Goldbug Park as a docent. I also work there as an attendant, and I'm the resident geologist there over in Placerville Goldbug Park. So this is local gold. Most of this comes from El Dorado County. So this is placer gold here, and this is hard rock gold here. And this comes from the Georgetown area, from Weber Creek in Placerville, from the Middle Fork of the American, and some from near Forest Hill on the South Fork of the American. This piece is a large piece of hard rock gold, and this comes from Mariposa County, from a mine there that I took out.